Welcome to Quickshots.
Welcome to Quickshots with your favourite cousins, James and Alex Fitzgerald.
It's us.
I'm going to chuck this one to you off. I'll get you to open the batting. Part 8 wants to know, can we own 2 owner-occupied properties?
No. Next.
Care to elaborate?
No, you can't. You can't own 2 owner-occupied properties in Australia. You can't have 2 tax-free assets, my friend. However, if you move out of your owner-occupier and you turn it into an investment property, it may still be capital gains tax exempt up to a certain amount of years. I think it's 6 years. Is that right?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah,
Don't know
something
off the
like
top of my head, but no, certainly not possible to have more than one, unfortunately.
No.
If you lived in America, I think you can have 2, but
yeah, but
you probably don't.
But in America, their tax incentives are on their owner occupiers.
Yes.
So that's why they can have 2.
Completely
Opposite.
Backwards to Australia.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? Over to you, Cuz, from Grant. I understand land in the form of house or townhouse is better to own as an investment. However, what if you can't extend on that existing dwelling?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure the context of that question. It might have been in the context of granny flats, because some people do listen to the back catalogue of episodes in delay.
They do.
The one thing I would say is in terms of the land and land use, it is fast evolving. And for example, every council in Australia has different rules and regulations around side and rear setbacks that are changing. It used to be that you had to be 1.5 metre setback from the side boundary, 5.5 metres from the back. We're seeing a lot of councils that are now allowing up to 3 or as little as 3 metres from the back of the block. We're seeing, a lot of people explore building above the garages these days. Some people even converting garages in inner city suburbs into self-contained units. So, Grant, what I would sort of say is, when it comes to land use, it is constantly evolving. I think if you're buying land today and in 10 years' time thinking that you might, try and take it from an asset that's predominantly land with one house on it that's grown in value to a block of land with multiple tenancies that gives you more income, it'll look so different in a decade's time to what it looks today. I wouldn't be surprised if, setbacks aren't even a thing. Then I've never quite understood them. Like, why do you have to be set back from the boundary?
Just straight visuals. Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. In terms of, extending, that is often the challenge is fitting in with the council requirements.
You'd still want to take like a calculated punt in some regard though, wouldn't you, James? Like you wouldn't, buy a regional and hope that, it changes. You want to be in a growth suburb. But, the recent changes and I guess takeover of the state government in Queensland has been really interesting. They've sort of said to local councils, we need you to make things happen. We need you to allow granny flats and stuff like that. So
yeah, constantly evolving in terms of how we use our blocks of land. Wendy wants to know, how much as a minimum of capital do we need to get our foot in the door with a property investment?
Oh, tough question, Wendy, because it really depends on so many different things. Do you own your own home? Do you rent? Do you have kids? What do you earn? So many different things. We typically say, it's $80,000 to $100,000, right? But you have to be open to investing in another state. So it depends where you are. If you're fixated on buying in New South Wales because you live in New South Wales, it's going to be a completely different answer to that question. But to just get your foot in the door with a property investment, I'm going to say $80,000 to $100,000.
Yeah, rule of thumb is you need probably 15% minimum. You generally need a 10% deposit plus 5% of the property cost, as an on-cost. That's a sort of real basic
and a bit of buffer. And a bit of buffer, right? So, it depends. It really depends.
That was Quickshots this week. Thank you for sending through your questions. If you've got any more, send them through. We love to get them. Emails are in the show notes. Our Instagram, our Facebook. You can get us however you choose and like to. We'll see you next week.
Pardeep, Grant, Wendy, thanking you. Thanks for listening to another episode of The Double Shot with your favourite cousins, Alex and James Fitzgerald.
If you've got a burning question or something we absolutely need to talk about on the pod, please write to us. Both of our emails are in the show notes. For little real estate tidbits and a little bit of banter, okay, a lot of banter, you can follow us on the gram. Our handle is thedoubleshot.podcast. That, my friends, is thedoubleshot.podcast. Until next time, think of us when you sit back and sip your next double shot.